The Global Latin Factor Podcast.
Welcome, one and all, to the Global Latin Factor Podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. I'm your host, Crispin Valentin, and today I'm going to be doing a lot of karate moves because I've seen a TikTok or I've seen a YouTube video. If you move your hands as you talk, you get more attention. I'm just kidding. Today is a very special show because I have a very special guest, as every guest that comes to this place, because they took initiative to do something for themselves and are continuing doing sales. And I think it's very important to highlight this individual. I have Angie Paola. How you doing today?
Hola, hola. I'm good. How are you?
I am great. How was your day today?
It was good. Busy, but it was good. How was yours?
Awesome. It was great. Thank you. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. And real quickly, so I'm going to say a couple things about you, and we're going to go ahead and ask you some very important questions.
Bet.
And you've seen some of the episodes, so you know what it's about.
Yes.
All right. You are an influencer, a digital content creator, CEO of Forever Saucy. I am Angie Paola, which is photography. And you also have your own brand, which is you do brand ambassador for Revlon.
Revlon.
Okay. I'm not. That's all natural.
It's okay.
Inspiring artists. Mm-hmm. And we're going to find out how much more of you. You are originally a first-generation immigrant from Cartagena, Colombia.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being here. And before we get started, we're going to do what's called Preguntas al Chile.
Vamos.
And then for people that speak
Preguntas al Chile.
Spanish, Preguntas al Chile will be questions al pepper or something like that. All right, here we go. Tacos o tortas?
Tacos.
Corn tortillas or flour tortillas?
Corn.
Mexican Coke or jarritos?
Mexican Coke.
All righty. Have you ever had a horchata, agua, Jamaica, tamarindo?
Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. Salsa verde, salsa roja, or do you even like spicy?
Well, Colombians don't eat spicy, but I love salsa verde.
Salsa verde?
Verde, sí.
Team salsa verde all day. Menudo, pozole, have you ever had it?
Yes, and I don't like none.
None.
No.
That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Corona, do you drink? Are you 21? Yeah, you are 21.
I'm 27.
yeah, never mind. Do you drink?
Yes.
Enjoy beer?
Yes.
Okay. Corona, Dos Equis, Modelo, or none?
Dos Equis.
Okay. Tequila or mezcal?
Mezcal.
Mezcal? Really? Interesting. Why?
I appreciate everything that goes into it. It tastes better, stronger.
That's cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hot sauce, Valentina, Tapatio, Cholula?
Valentina.
Have you ever had a conchita? Do you know what they're concha breads?
Yes.
Okay. So the brown ones, the pink ones, or the white ones?
I'm not well versed in all these colors. I don't know.
That's
pass.
Cool. Nothing wrong with that. Pass on that one.
Pass.
All right. Now we're gonna get to some that you're gonna know. All right.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
English is my second language, by the way. So, mojarra or cazuela de mariscos?
Mojarra.
You recognize these plates are from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Posta negra or sancocho?
Sancocho.
Colombian empanada or arepas de queso?
Colombian empanada.
Pan de bono or tres leches cake?
Oh, wow. Pan de bono.
I told you I had something for you.
Yeah, you did your job. Good job.
I told you. It's Google all day, every day. All right. So what does Latino mean to you?
Flavor. Spice.
Yeah, I like that. I like that very much. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into your story. So I sent you a few questions, and there's all kinds of things to talk about. And I'm very curious, too, of certain things that you talk about because you're part of what they call right now, and if you've seen in the news and media and different things like that, there's this thing called the Great Resignation or the Big Quit, where it's pretty much a lot of people are leaving their jobs and becoming entrepreneurs or different things like that. And it's been happening since last year in the beginning of 2020. And I think you're part of it. And I'm very interested to know about exactly how you got to that point. And one thing that I'm really curious to know is, how did you get to the U.S. first of all? Do you even recall like your journey from Colombia to here?
I remember a lot of buses, a lot of like sleeping with people that we just met. I remember airplanes.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up fast because it was just me and my mom. And I just saw the way people looked at my mom. So I realized that I was the only like protector. So I
Right.
think when I think of that, I think of like struggle. And that's really all I remember is like I just connected with growing up fast. I don't think I got to enjoy the process of coming here because I had to just grow up fast. It was, I think I was just more so worried about my mom, which is so weird. But I guess I didn't even, it didn't hit me what I was doing at all. I don't think I knew I was going to stay there. It wasn't my mom's plan to just come over here and just like keep us here. So I don't know. I just connected with struggle, I guess.
Okay. So you were 7 years old, right?
Yeah. Well, I was like, from the ages from 5 to 7. Yeah. We kind of,
Is that because of there was a lot of conflict going on at one time? Is that the reason why you had to leave, or is there a particular reason why you just needed to leave Colombia and not be over there instead?
well, I don't, it was all based off my mom. You know, her and my father separated, and my mom always felt like she just never fit in over there. So she actually went to college for tourism. And in Cartagena, that's like your way out. If you want to do it the legal way and everything, you just get into tourism, and then you know, because you get to work at hotels and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And she met like someone from the U.S. there who obviously helped her get over here. And yeah, like I wouldn't say it was a bad life, but I don't come from like any wealth or anything. Like when you go home, like it's the barrio, like we don't have much, and I love that. So
Do you remember how it was like a day by day over there as early as that? Do you remember how a day went over there?
well, kind of, but not really. I mean, since we still live in the same neighborhood, like when I go back, I get different fillers, you know, like I have memories that kind of fill in themselves.
Yeah.
But it was just like your normal, you know, everybody's up at 8 a.m. The little girls, you know, we're all in uniform. We're walking to the bus or going to school.
Yeah.
The life is just different. Like everybody is up and running at 8 a.m. And over here, it's just not that way.
We were talking about before we started recording about the your challenges with like wanting to, and you mentioned it earlier, trying to grow up fast, but at the same time trying to learn English fast.
Yes.
Why?
I didn't want to feel different. If you already come from your country and you already feel different in your own country, to come to another country and have them pick apart you before your personality, like just the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you just are, is very mind-boggling.
You know, it's crazy because even when you were young, it shows a lot of maturity that you already understood some of those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you have people, like you have to understand people to really navigate your.
But the crazy thing is that I was 11 years old when I got to the States, and ours was a little bit different. I remember exactly our journey here, and I'll say it at a different time. But to me, it wasn't that serious. And maybe it was just because I'm a boy and I wasn't mature. To me, it was just like an adventure to trying to get over here. It's not till I reflect back years later that I'm like, oh, wait a minute, we were in some real danger. Like, oh, we really broke the law trying to get over here and things like that. You know, which again, all that was taken care of. Fees were paid, penalties were taken care of. But at the end of the day, your awareness compared to mine as a woman and as a little boy, it just wasn't the same. So, why do you feel like, I know you were telling me about, you feel like you can't be yourself at times with around people, and you think is that because of that?
Oh,
you think comes from?
absolutely.
Yeah?
I never learned how to take that off.
Yeah. What are you gonna do to fix it? Dr. Phil over here. I'm just kidding.
I'm working on it. You know,
Yeah.
it's all about, you know, really just sitting down and realizing who you are and why you don't feel like you fit in, because you're not being honest with yourself.
Why are you most proud of being from Colombia? What do you feel like you're more like? I'm real proud to be Mexican for our food. Our food thing is, even though it's only mainly 3 ingredients, but out of like 3 or 4 ingredients,
right.
we can make a bunch of stuff.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And being happy. Don't get me wrong. There's things I don't like. I don't like the fact that a lot of my people are always drinking, have alcohol problems and things like that. Because we do, mainly not so
But
much.
that's part of your culture.
It is, but it's not a okay thing. You know what I mean? Because I think there's a lot of covering and trying to mask things with alcohol that we just need to like have a one-on-one and be like, yeah, there's a reason why I do this. You know what I mean? There's a reason why I enjoy drinking, and like not like blocking everything else instead of like really channeling in why am I drinking so much and things like that. And it's maybe just me, but I just feel like I don't like that part of our culture for me. But everything else, like our music, our people, we're hard workers, all different things like that. We made a bunch of things and contribute to society, color TV, birth control, all kinds of stuff, And I think it's a beautiful thing to celebrate. And I told you before we started, when I was in the military, I never felt more Mexican than when I was in there. And I think that helped me like be more proud of being Mexican. So what are you most proud of from being from Colombia or from the country itself or your people?
The food, the music, and our love for people. If you ever get a chance to go to Cartagena,
I am gonna go to Cartagena. You're gonna find
He's
me
gonna
over
go
there.
to Cartagena. No, but
you have to you have to be over there. Remember? 'Cause
yes,
you have to
I
take
told
me
him he
around.
has to be over there. But the people, when you go to Cartagena, even if you go to like Medellin or like a different part of Colombia, like it's not going to give you the experience that Cartagena gives you. People, even in Colombia, love to go to Cartagena because that's where you go for fun. You go there and people will literally tell you Cartagena is like where the flavor comes from because that's where you have the ocean, but everybody that loves music is in Cartagena. I mean, we literally just love music. The people there, like you can go out and you're like drunk on the street and someone can start dancing with you. It kind of gives you the same feeling of Louisiana if you've ever been there. I don't know if you have, but just like the Mardi Gras feel is like the feel over there all the time. Like people always want to come up to you, dance with you, compliment you, sing you a rap song. We just love people. I mean, it's literally the heart of what Cartagena is.
That's dope because Mexico has the same thing in common. If you go to different areas, they'll say different things about different people going on. Like people in the north got something going on. People in the south got, you know what I mean? It's just different. But we all Mexican, but we all do our own things different depending on the region. And it's crazy that in Colombia, is depending if you're in Cartagena or Medellin, then there's different things going on and people are interacting different,
Absolutely. It's really weird too because Cartagena, although it is a touristic place, it's also a very poor place. So a lot of tourists don't really get to see our struggle because it's hidden behind tourism.
Isn't it always like that? Why are you always trying to mask it?
And it's so corrupt there because they make you feel like it's not happening and they don't even take care of their own people. They'd rather take care of the tourists. Okay.
So in your job, in the field that you do, as far as a content creator, as far as the Latina and your struggles, is that mostly that part that you struggle with, or has there been other struggles that you have to deal with? As a female and as a Latina.
As far as in content creation? Yes, actually. So brands actually just now started to be more inclusive. So when I have brands give me applications or send me a pitch or something and they want to work with me, now brands are starting to ask, are you Hispanic? Are you Latina? Are you Black? Are you this and that? Because they really just want to start saturating their brand with different kinds of people. There's like pros and cons to that. I feel like it's not genuine sometimes. Like you're just trying to fill the quota of having a certain amount of Hispanics in there and they're not taking your work seriously. Like, do you want me for my work or do you want me just to fill the quota of you're inclusive and it helps your brand look good? I think that's the only way I do. Being Latina, I do connect more with Black-owned businesses or people of, like different ethnicities.
I see what you're saying. And it's crazy that they do have something that they have to go off to fill a certain amount of numbers so they won't be looked at a certain way. Like they discriminate against certain people.
Yes.
And that's not cool at all. Why are we like this in this world?
Right?
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Okay, so something crazy that I think you're very brave and I think, as I mentioned earlier, about since it's been happening since January 2021, that you used to work for we're not gonna say any names on that one, but you used to work for an aviation company or airline company, and you quit your job even though you were moving pretty fast, right? How did that feel like, and why?
Well, let's see. So I left 4 years ago. I was there for 3 years, and I worked as a gate agent, and I worked my way up to a lead, and then I ended up training, and then I got to train at headquarters, and then a lot comes with that. I was so young. A lot of people get intimidated by that. I'm very business oriented, so like I just don't play when it comes to business.
Right.
And it just put a lot of anxiety onto me. A lot. I mean, I would wake up and I would throw up every single morning. I had so much anxiety the moment I woke up.
Really?
So I had to come up with a way. Like I've always done this since I was 11. Any kind of creative thing. I've been on Adobe products since I was 11. Everything is self-taught. So I was really fighting with myself. Like, obviously, I know I can make it in the corporate world. That doesn't scare me. It comes natural to me. What if I just did whatever I like to do? And the only reason I got to do that was because at the time I had a support from my boyfriend at the time and my mother. That was the only reason I had support. And it just got to the point where it was so bad that I had to leave. Like I had to leave because of my mental health, but I knew that I could make it somewhere creatively. So I was like, it's now or never. I'm in my lower part of my 20s. I have to start now.
Yeah, so you were 23, 24. Wow. And how did it feel was it like, okay, so some jobs, depending on where you work or corporate in general, if you put you 2 weeks, they'll be like, the same day, you'll be like, hey, we'll see you later. We don't need you, even though you put into your 2 weeks. And, or some do allow you to play out your 2 weeks. And how did you put in your 2 weeks, or you just did something crazy?
No, so I didn't. If you've ever worked in or if you know anything about aviation, the aviation field is not what it seems. It's very, very corrupt on the inside. I mean, just like everywhere, but it's really bad. And they'll just screw you over. I was actually on a leave, and I had to get.
You got fired on your day off?
No.
Let me find out.
No. I was on a leave, like a medical leave, because my anxiety was so bad. I had to get paperwork filled out from a doctor, everything. Long story short, they just screwed me over. The doctor was like, oh no, this is really bad anxiety. Like you have to cut your hours or something. And then I went through the whole process, and then my job was like, it's not serious. It's not serious enough. So you need to leave. So I left, and then the GM at the time called me and was like, you can come back. And I came back, and the second day was the same like BS, and then I left. Yeah. I just left. I mean, I literally quit. That's actually how I met my music manager, at the airport.
Oh, nice. Shout out to her.
Yes.
Remind me her name again?
Alexis. She goes by A1.
A1. Oh, I like that. Okay, that's pretty cool that y'all met. Travel, please, and talk to people if they are willing, if their body language indicates that they're okay to talk. And you'll be surprised how many people you meet, because it's just so interesting to travel and get to meet different people. We're just so sheltered here in the U.S., and especially if you don't ever leave your home. But if you don't ever leave the U.S. and you don't understand how sheltered we are here of the entire world, not shelter in a bad way, everything's just so easy for us here, right? Because from living in Colombia, like I used to have to walk to school for miles just to get to school.
Absolutely.
And I used to have to go and get like tortillas. I couldn't drive. I didn't have no car. I didn't have a bike. Not even a bike. I had to go walk to get the tortillas. You know, I had to go sometimes pick my own fruits and my own lemons, which is cool, especially right now with the prices. But they just don't understand. This is so freaking easy.
So easy.
It's so easy nowadays. And
it's like DoorDash for life.
That's cool. So y'all parted ways, and why didn't you just decide to start applying for another one? You said that's it. I have to take the leap of faith.
I'm too talented.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's cool. And you dove into creating. So how does that work? I'm all curious about that because I've seen everybody and their mama. I know you have mentioned something about micro creators, and I think I seen the Daily Show. I think it was the Daily Show, one of those shows, the night shows that I told you I liked, that they were talking about micro influencers because they were helping with, like, try to help push to people to wear masks and get vaccinated and things like that. And even though people didn't have massive numbers, like millions of followers, not even thousands, maybe a couple thousand, but even those numbers were enough to get them involved and try to get people to do, like, be more careful. Even if it's vaccine or no vaccine, either way, just trying to help them to get involved and try to move people and influence people into doing something. So how did that all came to you, or how did you decide? Where did you find out? YouTube probably. No?
No. I'm all about marketing, but if you go out there, you realize that nobody's telling their secrets, right? So you can buy all the classes you want, but they're not going to tell you the one thing you need to know.
It's a scam.
It's a scam. It's literally just, it's a funnel. Like, it's just.
And all those people talking marketing thing, like, not marketing, but, what do they call? Networking. They just want you to go into the next event for them, and then the next event for them. Like, y'all literally met in an airplane, not going to any of, or like in a airport or whatever, just just randomly. People that you're supposed to link with, it's just gonna happen. Absolutely. And you're just gonna start working if you have a conversation. But you don't have to go to massive places. You can find anybody that will help you with anything, as long as
right. And that's the thing, like, the brands will tell you our numbers are so much better than influencers who have like 40K, 11K. Like, it's all about the numbers. It's not about the followers. I started getting brand sponsorships when I had 3,000 followers. I only have 7,000, and to be honest, I don't even really apply myself the way I should be applying myself. But my sponsorships, they'll have, it's just the conversion rate, it's the engagement rate. I have like 100 comments on my pictures, and they're all genuine and authentic. Whereas to like an 11K person, they're not going to engage. They don't have time. They probably just think they're a public figure, and they don't really understand what they're doing. Micro influencers kind of have to know what they're doing in order to influence in a smaller, like, environment. But
at the end of the day, it's numbers, right? Like,
it's just a numbers game, and it's really how you market yourself, how you pitch yourself. You have an idea, sell it. Like, if you can sell a pen, you can probably sell your own content. Yeah.
What movie did you get that from? I remember that movie. What was it from? It's a sales strategy, but it's
that's
just
not a
sell
movie.
me this pen.
It came from my head.
Is it? No, it's actually from a movie.
If you could, I've heard.
Wall Street.
Oh, there you. That's one of my favorite movies.
Probably where you got it from.
Shout out, Leo.
Don't try to take their work. Give them credit. It was from the.
I took the first half of that.
But it does, right? It's what they need. People don't understand sales. It's numbers. A numbers game is one of the things. I'm not a salesperson, but I understand. It's a numbers game, right? You can talk to 100 people. Not every single one going to convert. But if you only talk to 10, your conversion rate is not going to be the same. If you talk to 100 people,
right,
then most likely you're going to get more sales.
And you're more passionate if you're doing a smaller number. It's all about the human quality. So, like, influencers that have thousands of followers, you don't feel like they're connecting with you. You feel like that's their job. Micro influencers, you feel like you're talking to a person, and that's what's missing right now in advertisement or anything, is the human touch. People want to feel connected to something, and they want to feel like you don't live a different life than they do.
That's
it. That's it. And
then some of these other bigger people, bigger whatever they are become, ego is, I say it all the time, ego's a hell of a drug, because all this time, like, okay, I'm not trying to put them down, but if you think about it, right, there's almost 8 billion people in the world. Even if you have 10 million followers, like, you're like still little bitty compared to everything,
right? And
then of course I never had 10,000 followers, right? But I think I feel like I would check my ego. But at the same time, when you get those numbers, you feel like, who are y'all? You know what I mean? Type of stuff. And especially people trying to always want to talk to you and take pictures, like, you know what I mean? So I think you got to check that. And if they were smart, they would convert those people into better interactions to have bigger numbers and bigger sales and bigger checks. All right. So what was your first brand, and how did it all get started for you as far as that?
My first brand actually wasn't a brand. So what people don't know about influencing is there's actually networks that you can start with. And these networks will bring you brands, and you apply. And if they think you're a good fit, they'll just bring the brands to you. So I actually started with 2 companies. That was Statosphere and Apex Drop. And they help influencers connect with brands. And then that's like your little resume, right? So when you look at my profile, it's basically my online resume.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just how you start. So that's actually how I started, and I found that by just Googling. I did not find it on any YouTube. I have spent hours just trying to find the same information everybody does.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you that
Nobody
information.
tells you anything. They're
No.
trying to sell you a course, to sell you the next course, to sell you the next course.
And that's not even, and that's, the courses are things that they find on Google.
Yep.
There's pre-written articles that
Yep.
that are free, that you can just take for yourself and use. People don't know the game.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. But how did you find it? How did you find out to find those particular brands or those companies to work with?
Google.
You Googled
I
it?
Google after I stopped with those networks. I try to learn. So I try to cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
I try to figure
Because
out
they
what
get
they
a
were
percentage,
doing.
right?
Right.
Of
Well,
you.
and if not, like most of the, when you start, you're not gonna get any money out of it.
Mhm.
You're just not. It's just not gonna work that way.
And I appreciate the honesty, because everybody thinks it's just like, everybody's used to the successful picture of you next to a beach or whatever, but it just takes time
Yes.
to get this, and then eventually it will happen, but you have to
Be
put the
consistent.
time in
Yes.
and the hours.
Mhm.
Okay, so in the beginning, no money whatsoever,
No
but then
money.
and then you try to do it yourself, eliminate the middleman, and then what happened?
And then, so I had content, and then I had a lot of beauty content, makeup content, and then makeup brands started to reach out to me. So right now I'm a content creator for Revlon and NYX, and they're affordable makeup that you just go into the store. You can look at those brands, and I got on a contract with them. They send contracts, they send compensation information. All of that is the behind the scenes, and then you get to do like your stuff. They send you the products, they pay you, and you post a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
do you have to, for them, post just pictures or actually do a video of what you're doing, like the boxing out? I don't know what you call it, outboxing.
the unboxing.
That thing, whatever. I'm not into the game of that, but is that part of it?
Yeah, so every campaign is different. They're called deliverables, and you deliver different things when it comes to the brand and whatever they're looking for. And unboxing videos, a lot of brands stopped doing that too, because it was very impersonal. So people don't want to watch unboxing videos anymore. So they kind of just do post, reels, all that stuff.
What has been working more recently? How did they find out that it doesn't work? It's just not too personal.
I think it shows in the numbers.
And then you putting on the stuff is more personal in the camera
Yes.
for them.
Yes, and that was my
Really?
problem actually. I couldn't get a lot of like big brands until I started showing my face on camera, and that was if you look through my Instagram, a lot of them just have my hand holding the product or just me doing the action with the product. My numbers are so much higher when my face is in it, and that just goes to show that the human connection factor, whatever it is what really is like that's what drives everything. The hand stuff was not working for me for a whole year. I did that for a whole year, and I didn't get anywhere.
Why didn't you want to show your face?
It's online, like they pick you apart. I know you don't see it in my comments,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do get messages that
I'm
are
pretty
just
sure.
like
People are ugly in online.
very,
But
very
they're cowards because they're online. They wouldn't say it ever to your face.
ever.
Ever.
They're and they pick you
cowards.
apart about like the weirdest thing, like why is your nail green if like you said you didn't like green like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's true. No, I get it, and it's understandable, but it took some bravery for you to like, you know what, I don't care, because at the end of the day, this is who I am.
Yeah, and it ties into like when you first get here, you grow thick skin.
Yeah, you do. I was talking to Sammy. She's the owner of this place, and we were talking about. She was telling me I wanted to ask about the military and stuff, and I feel like sometimes I see posts, and I'm like, it's not that serious. But I've been to war before, right? I've seen some stuff, and I have way thicker skin than anybody because of the things that I've seen, right? So even though I kind of sort of see where they're coming from, I'm like, it's just not that, So I don't want to put my face anymore, but I know what the trolls and everybody else is able to do, because you can probably you can't find no defects really, It doesn't Photoshop a lot, but at the same time, I do understand that.
Right.
But it did take some guts to do it, and
Absolutely.
I congratulate you for doing that. That's
Thank you.
dope. So your pitch. Okay, so when you finally find a company So are you still working with a particular person that puts that links you with or you just directly going to the brand?
I do it myself.
So you find out how to do it. How do you do that?
You find a brand.
Uh-huh.
You tell them who you are. You tell them what you can do for them, and then you literally lay out your product or your idea, and just enough to intrigue them, to let them know that you actually have a campaign for them. And then what I do is I show my metrics. So I'll attach my numbers. I'll attach like screenshots of DMs to show that people actually interact with my content and want to know more after I post something. And then I just say, if you want like a media card, because that's what influencers use.
What is a media card?
A media card has like a picture of you, a little bio of like your niche, what you do, whether it's beauty, lifestyle, whatever. And then you show like all the brands you worked with. You show some numbers of those brands. It's just like a PDF presentation. Excuse me.
With your headshot.
Yes. And it's like a rate card, like a model card or anything like that. But then you attach that, and it shows your rates. So like you make your own rates for yourself, and so
you put your own rates. And how do you get these rates for you?
I just really Google and see the worth of my work. Like, I'll go to an influencer that's probably doing the same thing. I'll probably Google like how much they paid for that, because there's articles out there, you know what I mean? And then I just kind of eyeball it. Like, I'm really big on quality, so if I feel like I can deliver more quality than them because I have a professional background, then they're going to pay for that. There's a lot of money in marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get this straight. So you find something that you're passionate about, excuse me, you start doing, right? Let's say I'm into archery, and then I Google an archery brand, and all these companies are actually actively looking for somebody to help them push it.
Always.
And within their website, it seems like that you will find it somewhere in there, so where you can find a link to, you can send your stuff. Is that how it works, or no?
There's websites out there that you can find, like there's databases of emails. If you YouTube how to...
Is it illegal? You don't want to tell us what it is?
No, it's just different for every brand.
Okay.
Some people have them on their contact page. A lot of people are starting to now actually put like content creation email or like just marketing emails, and that you just grab it and go.
Because it's affiliate marketing, for like Amazon, you can affiliate yourself and attach yourself to, like, you can apply to be an affiliate. I've done it before and it didn't work out for me for Amazon, but I do something different for them now. And so now it's starting to become a thing where you can go in a place and just send your stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. And if that doesn't exist, how do you find the list? Where do you go? You Google for that company to list?
I Google.
Let's say for Revlon, what did you Google to find their contact?
So Revlon actually found me first, and
they
had me on a contract to do one campaign for them. They sent me their newest makeup and everything. They liked my content so much that now I'm just a content creator for they literally send me makeup every 2 months, just boxes full of makeup, and it's wild because you go into the store and you spend so much money on it. It's still weird to me to accept that.
Makeup is expensive.
It's expensive. All the stuff that I have is expensive. So I really had to work out of that and be like, this is your job, Angie. Don't look at it as like, oh my God, it's racking up. Like, do you deserve this? Like all these things. Like, I don't know.
I think you deserve it. I think you deserve it. No, of course, because you did the work, and you came from a place where it's not easy making it to the U.S. and learning the language and having to deal with these mean kids. And they're the worst, by the way, little kids. Teach your kids not to be mean to people that are from a different country if they don't know the language. I'm just saying. But you deserve it. Why not? You Google the stuff. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm over here talking to you because I want to know, because it's not that I want to quit my job or anything. Or if you see it. But I'm just saying, if I get an opportunity, I'm out.
Absolutely.
But that's the reason why a lot of people are quitting, right? Because, like you were talking about earlier, just companies are just not, like, they're not seeing you as a person anymore, as a human being.
Right.
They're a number and a production person and things like that.
But now not everybody can be a business owner.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to tell people, too.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of work that goes into
Oh,
it. You're
yeah.
going to struggle for long. You're not going to see a return for a long time. But
I feel you, because I feel like I put a beautiful product out.
A beautiful product. This is beautiful.
But at the same time, I know that I still have to work, and I have I have a lot of experience, you can say, in radio, but I feel like all these things led to doing this, right?
Right.
And whenever I don't see the numbers moving, and then there's other channels that put us stuff this bigger numbers, it makes me like, what? And then I have to go in and look at the algorithm and different things like that, and I'll be like, I don't see it, but I believe in it because I feel like it's a necessary product for Latinos to come to a place in English, even though I do speak Spanish, to find out about some of their Latinos that they've been here and done something, but nobody's talked about them in English. Or there is people, but they didn't really go in depth of like, oh, they had a twin, they did this, they had to go through the struggle and that. They're not saints, but at the same time, like they had their history, their story, just like you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had your history, your story. You came over here, and again, now you're getting paid by a brand, and it's dope. So I feel you on that part that it doesn't move, and it's frustrating, but at the same time, especially Carlos over there, he gets frustrated more.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that I Google that it's the part of the process, right?
Yes.
I get it,
Mm-hmm.
but.
And there's no one that's gonna care or believe in your brand more than you.
Yeah.
And that's just one thing you just gotta learn.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really doing something difficult. You're shedding. I mean, we don't even, as Latinos here, we don't even get that spotlight.
Right.
You're doing something new, and you're creating that spotlight for us. So of course it's gonna be hard for you for a little bit, because a lot of people they're gonna feel different ways about what you're doing.
Yeah. But how did you get through that time frame whenever you were not seeing no numbers and it was frustrating and you just not seeing the money and you left your job or your job
Change
let you
your
go?
environment.
Yeah.
You literally have to continue to network and find like-minded people, and you will feel the difference in conversation, and they will always help you out. Connections are so easy to make when you find the right people that know and are just as passionate as you are about your brand.
Right. And how long have you lived? Since you were 7 years old, you live here in Texas, right?
Well, I lived in Boston for a little bit. My mom didn't like it, and we came on bus here to Texas.
That's what you're saying, a lot of buses, right? So not only from Colombia to the U.S., but that's a long trip.
Very.
Because I drove from New York to Texas, and it's a very long trip.
And my mom did it by herself, and we actually ended up, because, she didn't know any English, we ended up I think we ended up in Denton, and her last stop was Dallas. So a stranger at the time, she just went and she just kindly helped her out and literally said that he would drive us to Dallas, and we just got in a car with a stranger. And I just remember I just remember being always so scared and always having to I always used to think that people were going to kill my mom. My mom is a very beautiful woman, and I just saw the way people looked at her, whether it was envy from women or want from men. I just, as a little kid, looked at the way people were, and I was just always so scared. And then I could let go of my breath if we got to where we needed to. I mean, it was by the grace of God that we literally ended up in Dallas. Literally we hitchhiked, and then someone picked us up, and then we got here.
And you got here to family, or you just have to?
No, my mom didn't. I think it was a friend that she just met, and we just helped her out. And my mom didn't have papers at the time or anything, so she actually the girl that we found, she helped her get a job. And then I had to hide myself in the apartment.
You have to hide yourself?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I had to I'm going to get emotional, but I had to close the blinds and just wait for my mom to come home on lunch break. And it was dark because she didn't want anybody to know that I was there. And I was, one time, I just couldn't take it anymore, and I just, peeped through the window, and someone called the cops. And it was just another story from them, but then I had to, get babysitters and stuff like that. But that time really, even as an adult, really took a toll on me. I don't like to watch movies because it reminds me of just sitting there waiting for my mom to come home, and the time was passing and I just had to wait.
So she left you by yourself
at the beginning,
in the beginning, because she couldn't afford a babysitter.
Right, we didn't know anything, you just wait for your parents.
Well, I can relate to you in that part, because even though I was 11, a little older, and my sisters, I'm the oldest, and my sisters were 9 and 7, we were left the same way. Don't go outside. Don't open the same thing. Just inside the room, because we couldn't go outside because we don't know what was going to happen. And our parents were at work, and we just had to be there during the summer, just cook in their room.
Yeah.
And don't knock to nobody. Anybody knocked on the door, just hide until they leave and then come out. And I can see how it'd be traumatic. I was like, it was three of us. I can't even imagine just by yourself, but we was three of us. So we just amongst, your brothers and sisters, you can just do around, work, play, and it's different things, right? But I can only imagine you by yourself, just even the blind itself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I appreciate you sharing that. And again, I told you deserve it. That's the reason why you're having the things that you've done. You've been through some stuff and it's well deserving. So, okay, your pitch. So exactly what is it that you tell them? As far as any company. Well, that's the pitch.
Yeah, like
that's the whole pitch.
Yeah, so
it's,
they'll
it's,
either
but it's not
bite
like
it.
whenever you doing a sale, you be like a person. This is what I can do. But literally, you put everything in.
Yeah, it should be like a good 3 to 4 paragraphs.
Yeah. Do you have it anywhere that you give it away or sell it maybe?
No, I mean I should think about that. I love I get a number of people that
everybody sells courses, but it's all like one after the other.
No,
after the
and
other,
I don't
you know
even want
I mean?
to sell anything because at the end there's no competition.
Yeah.
I don't know why people think there is. Yes, it's a saturated environment, but everyone is different. Everybody's human touch, everybody's eye is different. What you create is going to be different than the other person. I will never ever put a money value on what I know just to share it because I want people to do the same thing.
I think it would be dope if you do something like that because I think everybody is, whether you want it or not, feel like there's not enough money for everybody, but I think there's a lot of work for everybody they can do, and everybody like myself, I'll be lost. I'll be interested of getting that, like what are the steps exactly to, not necessarily like you have to go in this website, but find the brand, see where you need to go to, and then step this, step that, and the final is your card, and you have to have this, and that. Get that. If you do this, it works for me, and it will work for you. It's guaranteed, right? You're the proof. You're the living proof of it.
Well, it's not always guaranteed, though.
Well, it's guaranteed that at least minimum you'll have something that you can work with. We talked about a numbers game, right? Right. Not every single time, but guarantee if you keep doing it, it will happen for you.
I send like 10 pitches a day.
10 pitches a day, right? And what's how many come back that you would say?
Probably like 1 or 2, honestly.
But you get some.
But I get some, yes.
Yeah.
And then once you get that work, brands will reach out to you. I get a lot of brands that reach out to me first.
Really?
Yeah.
What is your decision as far as you want to work with them? What you look for as far as like
I just got to make sure that I make sure that I like it, that it's a brand that I can stand behind. No brand is perfect. But if it's something I genuinely can push in a genuine way, I'll work with them.
Yeah. What is the one? Do you want to say any names that you just couldn't associate yourself with? It just wasn't gonna work for you? No. Nah, because we don't have no legal problems. Our legal funds still growing. Our legal funds still growing, and we're just not gonna talk about that. Okay, so what is the proudest moment that you had so far doing this? And first of all, I want to touch up on the. Okay, so they let you go for sure. Like you were gone. Like they didn't let you come back, or did you just decided to walk and leave because it just wasn't gonna work for you?
No, I left.
So you left.
I left.
How did you felt that day?
Scared.
Scared about what? The money, of course.
That's it.
That's
the
it.
money and if it's really gonna work.
Yeah. And how long did the scare feeling last?
I'm still scared.
You still scared?
Yes, because the thing about being an entrepreneur is you get what you put out. Like if you don't work that day, you missed out on money that day, and it's not a guaranteed thing. I don't want to say it's like being a stripper, but like if you go and you don't make money, but you go the next day and you make $5,000, well, that's your rent, and every day is different. So no day is the same. That's scary.
That is. But at the same time, it is it's motivation for you not to. You can't get depressed in this doing this. You know what I mean? Because you have to be able to every day. Like I saw I don't know what you're going through, right? You're going through something personal because otherwise I read it. But you were gonna be on the magazine if I'm not mistaken, and you're here. So, but at the same time, you focus on your job, so you don't really got time to get sad. because you have to keep going
But
and
you
moving.
do. But you do.
You do.
Being a content creator, entrepreneur, it's very lonely. It's so lonely. It literally eats at you. You know, you get to go to, you know, if you have a job or a 9 to 5, you get to go and you get to just break that thought pattern for a little bit. You get to go interact with people. You get to have that human interaction. You have someone tell you what to do and you do it. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't have, like, you literally have to create time to see people, to talk to people. I'm just now finding out what I like to do as a human being because I've always been so business oriented. I just now realized, like, I don't know what restaurant I like to do, like, eat at over here, or what I like to do. I have always been so, there's a balance you got to find.
I disagree with that.
Why? What?
I really don't talk about my personal life besides doing this, but I've been known to work from home and I'll be at home and I'm fine with that. I don't mind interacting with people if I have to. I will, but I don't have to. There's a guy that I listen to often, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I enjoy people's company if I have to, if we can talk, if I have to, if I get an opportunity. So, as I mentioned earlier, there's 8 billion people in the world, right? If we get to interact with somebody, anybody, strangers, it's crazy. It's a crazy thought, and it's a crazy happening that it even happened for us to interact, being so many people out there, right? If I happen to interact with somebody, it's cool because it's crazy that it happened. But at the same time, the guy was saying, like, if you're I can't even remember the quote. Hold up. If you're miserable by yourself, then you're in bad company. You know what I mean? So by that, it's like, if you're not happy within and can't be by yourself and be like this, then there's still a lot of work for it. And then when you go out into the world, that's fine. You can talk to anybody you want to, but it's okay to come back and be like,
but what if that's like your trauma? Like, I've always been by myself, so I value people, like, and their company. So I can be by myself, but I'm by myself all the time.
The thing is that I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm not Dr. Phil Limon. But it only makes a lot of sense of the things and the reason why you are the way you are and why you're scared not to be, because you were alone for a long time, and it is a trauma. And it's either you get professional help that can help you out, or you look into different things to see how can you fix that it was something that happened to you.
Right.
You know, you probably are gonna cry for a long time until you let it go, until, like, it's okay to be by yourself. Because I'm very happy being by myself. You know, I'm fun. I do stupid stuff. I just laugh just because, you know, it's entertaining. And when I go and present myself to people, it's cool because I can, like, you know, I've been by myself. It's cool and I enjoy it. But when I go and talk to somebody else, it's even more cool. Unless they're not cool, then I'll be on my way, because, you know, it's not necessary. It's not an obligation to talk to people, and they don't have to talk to you. But if we do, it's cool that we can have a good conversation in this moment of time that happens, that it doesn't happen very often, that we don't really realize that thousands of people died before we even got to wake up, that we get to even open our eyes, and then we get to interact with somebody, and that all of our loved ones are fine. It's a great happening already, you know? Right. And it's all that guy had said, and it makes a lot of sense to me. And don't get me wrong, I had to work. I meditate, and I do different things. I don't eat meat anymore. 4 or 5 years ago that I stopped eating meat. And I'm not saying to go that route, but I'm saying that had to happen in order for me to get to this place, right?
You're Hispanic and you stopped eating meat?
Yep. And all my family's cool with it too. They cook for me separately sometimes. They make some dish for me, and sometimes they just give me beans and rice, and I'm cool with that, or beans and tortillas in Chile. Wow. And I'm happy with that.
Do you feel different?
Yeah.
What was the biggest difference that you felt with?
When I first stopped, I thought I was doing this interview.
No, oops.
When I first stopped, I lost 10 pounds in probably about 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I cold turkey because I got disgusted with it, right? And then I didn't know how to do it. I had to look up how to do it, and 4 years later, I'm good.
Wow.
But I can see the difference of clarity in my mind and different things like that. You know what I mean? I think that the reason why we're having such problems with anxiety, with depression, with all this stuff is because of the quality of food. And I'm not saying I get the best quality of food, even not eating meat and things like that. But at the same time, I'm in a better place for people that don't, with all those antibiotics and all these, and it's not just me saying it. You can look it up.
No, absolutely.
Yourself, that they do allow, they allow certain amount of blood in milk, and we are like the only people that consume another mammal's milk. And I get it that it was probably out of necessity at one time somewhere in Europe that a mom couldn't feed her baby and the baby was gonna die, so give him this and try it out, and guess what, it happened.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
There's a reason why some people are lactose intolerant. They can't drink
I'm lactose.
for the same reason, because your ancestors were not consuming that for a long time, and we're trying to force it into it. Sometimes your body doesn't take.
Amen.
It doesn't. We all build like way different, like you know what I mean. And then that's just what it is. But again, all this has been work that I've been done for myself, because I was in war. I was in war. I seen some messed up stuff.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. And then I came back now, right? And then the reason why I talked about the alcohol part with my people is because I had the same struggle. Even if I like let it go for a second, I can get into some stuff with it, because it's still like something that I still got to continue to work with alcohol and the relationship that I have with it, that it's just not my thing. I can't be that person, because it puts me in a bad place. For other people that drink alcohol that have a great time, that's freaking awesome. But for me, unfortunately, it's just not, because I have a track record of family and ancestors that have struggled with it, and whether it's in our DNA or whatever, it's just something,
I can relate to that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I see why you would have trouble being by yourself, because it is that. You just got to figure out how to clean it up.
Yeah.
And I'm fun by myself.
Okay, Mr. Fun.
I'm entertaining about myself. But when I do get around people, it is a treat. It is a treat to talk to people. Okay, so what do people misunderstand the most about you that you feel like?
Oh, my personality, hands down.
Why is that?
I'm so business oriented that when people meet me, I always get, oh my God, like, you're so much nicer than I thought you were. Or, like, you're so welcoming, or like, you're not as bad or mean as I thought. I do walk around with a face. Like,
you're not the first person that says that when they come over here. It's like but okay. So everything's based on our own experiences, right? Like, they look at you and see that. That doesn't mean you're like that, but we're the ones that making those. You know what I mean? Right. You're just you. Well,
no. So when I go back to Colombia, I have to. It takes me a little bit to switch. But if I go to like the beach or something, the girls, like the vendors there, they'll be like, "Fix your face. What's wrong with you?" Or like, "You're just not allowed to be." Like, you can't have a resting face in my country.
So
like,
is it a defensive mechanism, do you think, that is here? Because you have to have okay, so when you got here and the kids were mean, you had to be like, you can't
mess with me.
Exactly.
Like, what do you mean?
I think it's a defensive mechanism.
It is definitely, it's a coping mechanism. Yeah. It's a defensive mechanism. It's how you protect yourself. And then you realize that you are now older and you're an adult and you still carry yourself that way unintentionally.
Yeah. No, because it is a lot of subconscious stuff that happens that we don't realize. Like, sometimes I be too serious, and I'm like, "Why are you so serious?" I'm like,
me too.
But I be on my thoughts sometimes, right? I try to monitor my thoughts too, but sometimes when I'm in a thought, I'm working stuff out in my head. And whenever you're working a problem out, I don't know if you were doing math, you'd be like, like that. That's the same thing that happens, but I'm like, I'll be like this. I'm like, why is this fool so serious? I'm like, I'm not even looking at you. I'm over here.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's just what happens, like, sometimes. And then I try to try to have a welcoming face, but sometimes you can't help but just, if something happens or something you want to work out, you just want to get it fixed in your head.
Yes.
And people don't get that, I guess. People don't do it the same way.
At all.
That's interesting, though. Okay, music. Okay, so explain to me what exactly is it that you're doing with music? When did it start? What are your influences as far as music?
Okay, so I come from a musical family. My father was a recording artist, not big or anything, but he was he recorded a lot of vallenatos in Colombia. My entire family plays instruments. They sing at church. They made songs, wrote songs for the churches. My mom is a great singer, guitar player.
That's dope.
I've always sang. I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at it.
Are you able to give us a little something?
What do you mean?
Like, you know,
On
just
the
a little bit
spot?
example. I mean, you said I would want to see it. I'm almost
Can't you
see
just
it too.
link something?
I believe it, but if you want to send me something that we can link it to the video, we can.
Yeah, I'll link. I'll send it.
But if
I
you
have
want to do something now on the spot,
no, tell him he has to have me back for that.
okay, we can do that. But again, I'm just saying. Okay, so Sammy, the same lady, because she's been in radio for like 40 years. She said if you're going to make it in it, you have to be able to like
Do it on the spot. Yeah,
Exactly. And
I
it's true.
agree with you. I
And it's
agree.
true.
But so right now I'm recording my first EP. I'm so anal and like such a perfectionist that I just want it to come out good. I have a lot of songs. It has to be the perfect songs or like the perfect way.
Okay.
So I think that's the only thing holding me back. But I've been singing and writing songs ever since I can.
How come I
remember.
didn't see no TikTok or any of anything you doing?
And that's why people are
Yeah.
like, why don't you do covers or anything? And I'm just like, I have to figure out a way to get there. Like I have to, because I'm already a brand on my own, and I'm very into the lifestyle beauty industry. So I have to find a way to now introduce that I'm serious about singing because I didn't do that already. So
Yeah.
I have to like ease into it.
I got you.
But yeah, I mean, I'm working on my EP. I have the same producer that works for me. Like we make the same music all the time. And yeah,
I won't push it no more. I'll respect it. But it's in the back of my head that, you know. But I think it would be a good idea if you were like doing something and then kind of singing very mildly a couple times, and people were like, "Oh, you got a beautiful voice." And before somebody brings it up, I'm like, "Hey, guess what?"
no,
Respond
I
to
know.
the comment like, "Oh yeah, let me tell you about this."
I mean, yeah, no, but that's why I actually have my music manager because she helps me do that. A lot of the time, I don't want to put anything out. Like, it's so good for a week, and then since I've heard it so much, I'll be like, okay, I'm tired of that song. But I didn't even get the chance to like put it out there, you know. So it's a lot.
It is. I used to do. I didn't used to do music. I was in the music industry for locally in the Dallas area for a while, but it was more into hip hop. I did a little.
That's
something.
what Forever Saucy is.
I did a little something, but it just, you're right, it's all weird. I don't know how it is now, but it's all weird now, the music industry itself.
Oh, it's wild.
Yeah.
And
but,
especially as a female.
But I think everybody has a different idea, right? Because the problem with Dallas music, or I think the DFW music in general, is that unity is not going to work until somebody really actually makes it out, because I've been into different types of groups that actually attempted to unify. There's been plenty. I've been into plenty of people that were movements and things, and everybody faded away because egos, whatever, everybody has their own focus. So what we get wrong is the fact that not necessarily supporting each other, but just keep putting stuff out. And eventually the product itself will speak, and people will start blowing up to where, you know, then later on y'all start collaborating with each other with just collabo, not even anything more.
Right.
You know, because we're getting our numbers up, but it's all ego. It's all ego at the end of the day.
Yes.
Because if they started making a few thousand listening, and then another one did, and then another one, before you know it, let's just link up constantly doing it, then Dallas will be the next Houston, or even the next Atlanta. But it just hasn't happened. It's not gonna happen for a long time, because
that's the main problem with our
ego.
where we live, like DFW. That's the main.
Yeah,
Even
it
in the
is.
creative field, even the influencers from Dallas, they don't want to see you like get bigger, work with them, past them.
Yeah. Everybody's cheering on you until you start doing better than them. Then all of a sudden it's like, where you going? Get over here. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't. I just focus on this. That's my focus. I wasted so much time on different things that I've done before previously, that this is just what I need to focus on.
Right.
You know? And I am moving the Latino forward.
You are the movement.
Where I can find a place where they can just be here, and they're here. I don't have to be telling you this. Just be here and do you, and continue working on you.
Yes.
Because that's the best thing that I can possibly do, to let you know just you're making it happen, and keep working on it. And that's all it is, There's too many. There's 8 billion people, as I mentioned, almost. Too many people to be like, oh, we got to be. No, nobody wants to be. People have different views. Everybody wants to be left alone to do this thing. But at the same time, you have to keep working on your thing.
Right,
you know?
right.
So when are you going to release the EP, and what is the name of it? Have you have a name on it?
No.
Do we have a name, manager?
We're putting together the full marketing package.
I think my problem
Rich.
is that because I have a business background, I don't know how to just let things flow. I have a problem and I create a solution and I try to make it happen. So with this one, it's a little weird because I really just have to put myself out there to make it happen. I'm the type of person that's like, I'm going to make it happen.
Okay. So if you have the product already, right?
I do.
You have it. Mm-hmm. It's already done.
No. I have about 2 songs done. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to make it like a 4-song EP. It's just me and my producer, Young God. He goes by Young God.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be our tape. And yeah, so I mean, I want to release it in like a month and a half, but the way I work is, and the reason she says it's a full package,
right,
is I want to drop it with visuals. Visuals are so important in music.
So important in music.
Yes, and that and this is why I'm waiting, because when I drop, I want to keep dropping. I know that once I drop, I have to keep dropping stuff, whether it's covers, content, anything. The moment I put something out, I have to continue to do it. So I'm really making sure that I have the time frame to do that.
See, that's what I was telling him, Carlos, that we started recording like 3 months before we even released one episode, for the same reason that we wanted to have stuff in the chamber. But it goes hand in hand with what I said before about people that are one-hit wonders, right? I feel like it's my theory of one-hit wonders, right? One-hit wonders maybe get lucky and they have a song and it gets put out and it blows up, right? But it was just that one hit that they had. That's all they had. They haven't worked on the craft. They haven't practiced. They haven't sang. They haven't put in the hours that other people have. And then you have somebody that's been working for 7 years, and then finally get someone buzzed, and then finally get a hit, and then they stay relevant, right? You can't go back to the one-hit wonder. Maybe sometimes you can get another hit, but they don't have the idea of how to continue making songs and the craft and how to perform. That's all they had. It's over.
Right.
But the guy that's been working for years and they finally got that hit, and they know how to make a song, right? They even have a catalog of songs that you can go back and listen to. They've been having stuff and they can stay relevant for a longer time than the one hit wonder. So you do have the right idea, I think, as far as having consistent material already lined up. And somewhere in the chamber ready to go for later,
right,
because you're right, because in the vault, because if you don't, you're right, people are going to be, but at the same time is at your time,
right?
But you have to put it out. You have to pull the trigger eventually.
Yeah. No, yeah. Don't worry. You'll see me. I really want to drop in a month and a half. My problem is just that every time I make a song, they're better and better. So I'll be like, okay, well, this one's better than that one. So put that one in the vault. And
now
then
you really got me want to listen to. Now you really got me.
There's like at least 8 sitting there that's like decisions.
Yeah. And they're really like,
I believe you. I would appreciate if you let me hear it. Actually, you need to have a listening party before you make your final decision with a few DJs, producers, and things like that. Just get you a little place and have them just.
But that's the music industry, and that's something that I also have to just learn. Like, where would I get those? You know what I mean? Like, where do I get those connections? How do I push my music? How can I push my music with the right people? Is important.
Okay, so I think all that stuff is just made up too. Like, as far as the people like that never done music, Megan Thee Stallion used to put music consistently on YouTube all the time, and people were used to it, and she generate a buzz among herself.
Right.
Once you generate that, then the people will come to you. You know what I mean? So right now you have Instagram and you have Google that you can find some people that link up with. If you like them, if you feel like they're doing something. And a lot of the times you really do have to be careful, because everybody paints their own way in a certain.
Yeah.
And it's all BS. Like, if you look at my stuff, you feel like I'm doing huge things, but then you look at the number like, yeah, I see your numbers. You're not that. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. And
So-
then like you have to figure out like how you want to be as an artist. Like the first song that I really just like that I made, like I start singing with Yo tengo lo que quiere, and it's like, okay, but I don't want to. I'm not gonna be a Spanish singer. Like, so why did I do that? But then again, that's who I am. So it's
That
just like,
Telepatia?
Yeah.
No, hold up. That Telepatia song, remember that one?
Mhm.
It was Spanglish.
Yeah, I know. I think I want to go
And
that
it's
route.
that vibe though. But it is the vibe now here in Texas, especially,
Mm-hmm.
and in the United States in general. It
Mhm.
is. Think about it. That song, you didn't even realize how fast your mind switched from singing in one language to singing in the other one. And
Yeah.
just like that.
Yep. Yep.
Bodega. That word is not an English word.
At all.
And but just like that, our brains switch like that. And there's a girl that does TikTok. I don't remember her name, but she does TikTok where she just on purpose speaks Spanglish.
Mm-hmm.
And people were giving her, I guess somebody commented something like, why do you do that? I'm like, okay, well, now I'm just gonna do it just because. And me importa lo que digas. Yo voy a seguir haciendo
right.
en Spanglish. Y si quieres seguirme, sígueme. Si no, it doesn't matter to me because I'm gonna continue. And
I'm not
just like
there
that.
yet. I don't want to be picked apart for being Hispanic or Latina. Like it bugs me. Like I don't know why. Because I don't do that, so I don't understand why someone would do that to me. And
Yeah.
it just creates something in me that makes me feel like I lost control of how I view myself or like control of how I want to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and it sucks because that's part of why I don't feel like I'm myself, because that's a big part of who I am.
It is. And then I don't know, maybe just me, and maybe just because I'm way older than you, but I get that part about the image and everything, but after a while I started thinking to myself, like, how many, like, in reality, the ones that are supporting you will support you and put money in your pocket.
Absolutely.
But the ones that just go in and get that, just feel like they have to, just because they have a phone, they can comment. Like everybody has an opinion now. How much money do they really put in your pocket at the end of the day? You know what I mean? And when I see it, it just doesn't add up to me. And that's when I started caring less of what anybody said. Like, that's fine. I'm going to be who I am regardless. I'm going to present myself who I am. If you don't like me, that's cool. If you like me, that's great. But it's not necessary, because at the end of the day, every day, we don't get to interact. You don't put no money in my pocket whatsoever. Nothing that really affects my life. And that's that. With, again, it's your own perception of what you think of me, and that's fine. And that's why I think when you're an artist, it's kind of difficult, but at the end of the day, I think people still pick up if you are genuine and who you are.
Yes.
And if this is who you are, right? You're from Colombia. You're Colombiana. You came over here with a story, and if you just feel like you need to create an image for the people, then people are gonna pick up like, she's just trying to create something that is not her.
and I've already hit that.
Just be who you are.
Yeah. Well, I'm working on it, but I think that's one thing that all my close friends can tell you is this year a lot of my friends have been like, Angie, like, stop trying to be perfect. Like, you're so much better. Like, you're a sweetheart. Like, you're actually sweet. I have people asking me now, like, are you really that sweet? I'm like, well, I'm not mean. Like,
well, there's the other thing too, right? Because I always talk to myself. Anybody ask me anything like, how are you, like, or why are you so nice? I'm like, don't get too attached to that, because I'm a person, right? Like, before you know it, I can do something that you might not like, and all of a sudden, this sweet little, nice little cookie cut podcast, you're a piece of doo-doo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm a human with all the capabilities, right? To be the nicest person, to be somebody that can go to war and fight, and be really cold and be really heartless, to become and be very caring, to take pictures with my nieces and really love them and really like love my family. You know, I'm all that. All that. You know, so again, it's your perception of whatever you want to make, and that's fine. I'm just gonna be me, knowing that I'm a person, I'm a human being with all those spectrums of all those shades of all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I did this on purpose, the podcast to be cut clean and minimal cussing, for the same reason that, you know, it sells better for sponsorships, and it only makes sense. But I'm still here. Some of the Latinos that we talked. It's like they're not perfect. Like Mark Anthony divorced like 2 or 3 times already. You know, J-Lo, same thing. You know, but does that take away from the things that they accomplish?
But I know how to do it with business. Like if at the beginning of the podcast, I said, you know, in marketing, that's what's missing is the human factor, the human touch. I struggle with it when I'm not.
But you know what you're supposed to present. When even with the music, it's the same thing that they're missing. That all these artists are like, they're not like the reason why certain artists hit like big is because they're who they are, regardless.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I'm not. Your manager might be better. Like, shut up.
She's gonna be like,
you get stuff in her head. But I'm just saying that the greatest expression that somebody can give to anybody else is just living their own expression of who they are and putting it out there. And again, there's 8 billion people. Whether a few million that like it, it'll be okay. The ones that really don't, it's just their own personal problem, right? If you don't like me, usually it's just your own personal problem that you have within you, not me. Because I really don't go out with intention to try to like tell anybody off or be this or that or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just something internally you have towards maybe you when you were little had a like somebody push you and it looked like me. And now to this day, you look at somebody that looks like me and still pissed and you don't even know why. You know what I mean? All that stuff happens and it's just not me because I don't go into the world generally trying to hurt people, go in with intentions, malice, nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anything else, anything anybody has, is just their own thing. It's literally their own thing. And a lot of times we don't think about it like that. We think of like let me be just this person and make sure. And of course, it's the culture nowadays because everybody wants to crucify and cancel. I don't even know what that means. So you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that is. Whew.
But I still feel like Dave Chappelle. I talked about it before with the Mariachi podcast. Dave Chappelle did they almost want to crucify him with what he said. But if anybody listened to the actual watch the thing, he said something very beautiful, right?
He did.
Of that girl, that Daphne was a transgender that was living her. She got upset of him because he said you got a lot of courage in this, or she said something, and she got upset because he said, like, I just want you to understand I'm having my human experience. Like whether she wanted to be whatever, it's like it doesn't matter. That's her experience. Who are you to try to change that? What entitled you to tell the other person how to, like, you need to change that? I'm like, who are you?
Right.
You're a little puny person in this great universe that we live in, that you're like, if we disappear, like the whole galaxy disappears, the universe will continue going. They won't even realize we were freaking gone. Yep. That's how puny we are. But we're here on planet Earth, we feel so
big, yeah,
that we can tell you how you should move. Like, no, don't do that.
Right.
You shouldn't be a Latina like that. You shouldn't talk like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I like that.
Just a tip. But at the end of the day, consistency is key, and you do have the right mindset as far as having stuff ready. And once it's out, I hope I get to hear it first.
I'll send it now. Like
for real. I want to hear it now. I'm very curious to the sound and where you're going. But the Spanglish thing, it's just going to be a vibe for a while.
Yeah. I'm going to hop on that.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's just the way we talk nowadays, whether we want it or not. How many times you talk to your mom and catch yourself saying mostly in Spanish but a couple words in English? You know what I mean?
All the time when we're alone.
It just happens. Yeah. It's just the way that we function nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
And then who knows? 100 years from now, English might not be a language. It might be Spanglish or some other name that they gave it. You know, some other name that they gave it or something else. Because unfortunately, we're not going to be here 100 years. Well, maybe because there's a lot of weird science going on. But at the end of the day, 100 years, maybe we just might not be here to see it. But things are going to be changed in 100, 200 years. If our planet is still here, it's just not going to be the same.
Yeah.
You know, you don't remember what happened 100 years ago. Have you even looked up and Google? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of us take the time to see, but things were different back then.
Absolutely.
Compared to the way we are now, and the people from 100 years from now, 200, they're not gonna look back to see how we were living.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or maybe somebody does tip on like, these weirdos were canceling people. Did you realize that?
What is canceling?
Yeah.
Someone?
And there'll be a definition of the weird stuff we were doing.
And there'll be the little articles to show. Yeah.
And it'll be like crazy stuff that they look at. Like, did you see how this crazy people used to live 100 years ago. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I hope it gets better. Like,
I think it will. I think we lived a long time already as human beings. We came a long way,
yeah.
and as long as we keep at least minimum real. So when we came up as humans, I felt like we were collaborating a lot, right? We were in smaller groups and we were collaborating because we had to take on a bigger gain, or just protect each other, and we had to help each other. Competing didn't come until later on, as far as competing against each other and things like that. Because why? It helps the man, it helps the person in power, a company, to put like competitions against workers, because it pays you more if you compete.
Mm-hmm.
It pays you more if you go harder than the other person, because you're going to be rewarded with bigger bonuses.
Right.
So all of a sudden that keep passing on to the next generation, and then before you know it, now it's all about competition. Well, we didn't start like that.
Right.
We literally started for collaborating with each other. That came later, and that's the reason why we are in the same place with the content creator,
Mm-hmm.
with the musicians, with the podcast. I just like to create this and just put it out and continue pushing it. And if you have one, if you do the podcast, that's awesome. Wish you nothing but luck. Keep working at it, because
Mm-hmm.
I can't be the change in the world if I'm focusing on other people. I have to be the change and focus here and keep
Yes.
pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't, then I'm not doing no service to nobody. And I did stretch myself for a long time for different places and different areas, but it's just like the people that are wise say certain things because it makes sense, right? You literally have to focus on your stuff in order for it to be able to work and be successful.
Right.
It doesn't mean you are not able to lend a hand whenever you can, but at the end of the day, if you're not staying focused on and what you like, on your things and the makeup and the music, then you're not doing any service to anybody, because you're not going to be putting out the stuff that you want to consistently
Mm-hmm.
and get to where you want to be.
Agreed.
What is your goal with the music overall?
My goal is really to just do what I love. I really don't. That's the one field that I don't really have a number goal. I love music. I feel like I'm good at it, and I want to put it out there. That's it.
And this comes from because you, like, your entire family is musicians. Is that where it came from?
Yes. It's what makes us happy, like it just does a lot for us. Music does a lot for us.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
So yeah, and it took me a long time, because since I learned from listening to other people, I had to learn how to develop my own sound. My family does karaoke all the time. Sometimes I can sound like Adele. Sometimes I
cool.
can sound like, depending on how I want to sing. I was in choir my whole life.
Really?
I read music. I played the violin when I first got to America. Like I'm very.
So you're musical.
Oh yeah, like I can. Yes, absolutely.
Playing the violin is not an easy thing.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And you were all into that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Every time, I've always digging myself into something creative, music.
I want to hear something from you. Like, not right now. We already established that. I respect it. But I'm saying I do want to hear something that comes out of you, like one of your songs, because I think it's gonna be dope.
Thank you.
I'm like the premiere of like your show, whatever. Hey, when is it gonna come out? My God, I want to see it. I want to be the first one in line to get it for real, and I can't wait. I think it's gonna be.
We're gonna
good.
invite you to all the little music parties and stuff.
All right,
There you go.
I should be able
Yeah.
to. And if you ever need an MC and a host, I do that at wedding. I done it.
You do that?
Oh my goodness, do I?
Okay.
Do I?
Do
I?
it.
Oh yeah, I've hosted clubs like hip hop clubs for a long time. I did all kinds of stuff already. Like I used to host a hip hop competition with one of the promoters. We used to give away like $500, $1,000.
Are you serious?
So if you ever see this online, we were one of the first ones, and he had done it. The promoter that used to work, used to do it way before, back in the days. He brought it, and I was one of the hosts. They used to do it in a hip hop, and we used to. And I even got better with time. And I used to host clubs in Dallas.
Wow.
At times, and I've done like concerts. I've hosted clubs and stuff like that. Concerts. I brought in some
awesome.
artists, so
It's
I've done
awesome
quite a bit.
resume.
And I still do gigs here and there.
Mhm.
I have gigs throughout the year, but I have a Sweet 16, quinceañeras, weddings, all that stuff.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I like being on the mic. It's just the thing that I enjoy doing. I like moving people. I like getting the vibe going with the DJ and have them all dance. And
You're really good at it.
Well, this is a different environment.
But
if you see me over there, it's a different vibe with the dancing and everything.
You turn up,
because
huh?
I just like people to have a good time. I like people to have a good experience because that's what they're there for. Like, and when I used to think about going into the clubs and being an MC, it's like they work all week. And on a Friday, Saturday, they just want to get loose and they want to have a good time and forget about everything. And that's the type of vibe that I wanted to generate anytime was with the DJ and everything. I'd be like hyping the DJ because I worked with different DJs. Like, yeah, you killing it, bro. Wasn't that?
That's awesome.
And then everybody just, you can see it because there's a particular peak of time at nighttime in the club where everybody just loses their mind, where they just like, and they're gone. But not in a bad way. Don't get me wrong. There's alcohol involved, but it's just they're just in a different zone where they forgot all about that, right? Whether they think they're gonna get fired, whether even they got fired, that didn't matter anymore. Whether they're going through a relationship problem, it didn't freaking matter because you can see it in their faces where they're just like lit. Yeah, with great music.
Heals the world.
Yep. And that's my goals whenever I went to a club and did my thing, and it was like, man, that's dope that they can get to that point.
I wish I knew you when I like made Forever Saucy because that would have been awesome.
What do you mean?
Like, cause Forever Saucy, like what we try to do is just bring back the visuals or like what it means to be an artist again. So like back in the day, like on MTV, you would see like their music videos, right?
Yeah.
But you would see that they had to act out a scene. Right, like they would. The music videos wasn't like them in their neighborhood or like just them with a good
freaking thing.
A good outfit. Yeah. So we're bringing back the photo shoots, the creative direction, the being a full artist.
Yeah.
And learning how to act and learning how to sell your package as an artist. So you're gonna have a photo shoot. We're gonna creative direct your music videos, all that stuff.
So you have artists right now signed to that?
Mm-hmm.
How many?
We started with 4. So we have so our first rapper guy is Sko from the Go. He's from Chicago and he's trying to make a presence here in DFW.
You have something going on with him soon, right?
Yes. And then my second one is Golden Child, who's an R&B artist here, and he actually has like a good number. Like he has 5,000 monthly listeners on like Spotify and Apple Music. And then we're working with our last 2 artists, which is PGE Stacy, who's actually he's a rapper, and he's from here, and he's really good. He's so good. And yeah, we're doing them. We're kind of working on our 4th artist right now, but we just want our 4th artist. We're going to go on to the website, and we're just going to have all their work there, linked to their music, their photo shoots, their music videos. And we're just trying to bring a spotlight to DFW artists because DFW artists don't work with each other.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's been like that for years. Believe me, I know. So I've been around that environment. And I used to do another show way back in so I used to do a show with him originally, right? I used to do just an internet show streamed live, and that's it. We didn't have I didn't do this. My capability wasn't like that, or the mindset to create and have like a YouTube channel and create this. I had so many interviews. I interviewed Gangsta Boo before. I interviewed a bunch of independent artists that were at that time doing something, for a long time. I interviewed like hundreds of independent artists, like locally, like hundreds of them. I got tired of them, but there was always so many of them that wanted to, and especially being with the contests that we used to do, it was like just always have people. And then I left, went to FM for a little while, a community radio station, and then I came back and did this here. But it was a lot of artists, and at that time it's always been the same thing. And again, I've been part of different unity movements, but it's just, again, the focus is just focus on the music and put it out. And eventually when everybody starts working, everybody's worrying about the next man instead of focusing on the music. And then some people just got discouraged to where they just work, like the last artist that I had, Wolfie, he does mostly his own thing, has his own crew of people, but he focuses mostly on his work. And that's good because you need to be able to focus on you to get to the next level. And then once you're up there, then you can help other people.
Yes.
Because he'll be the type of person that will help out.
That makes sense.
But I think his vibe is way different. I think he's going to be in the metaverse and doing his own thing, and it's just not going to be. Because you have to think about it as a record label, because eventually everybody's going to go into I don't know that stuff, the freaking the metaverse. With
Yeah, I don't really get that
I
either.
don't get that either, but he was explaining to me that stuff is gonna happen to where people are gonna start going there and having live concerts and things like that. So when you're doing your videos, you might want to start diving into a little bit because
Yeah,
it's gonna
that's
have to be
interesting.
His whole concept was, if you, I don't know if you got to listen to that episode, was to create an NFT. That's how he's going to release the album.
Oh, yes. I got to that part of it. I thought that was interesting.
Well, not only that, but within it, you're going to be able to go into the virtual reality and get with him, and you're going to explore Dallas.
What?
In a place where it's going to be like falling apart, like Armageddon type, and just going through like different missions.
Hey, yo, Wolfie, what do you want? Like,
homie is he's been.
That's awesome.
He's been thinking ahead way before, way back when.
Wow.
That's why I've been knowing him for years, and I know. So again, I know you have your label, and I know you, and it's gonna sell because if you notice the halftime show, everybody in their mom was like the nostalgia, right, of seeing the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's gonna sell whenever you start putting those visuals like that. Then we're like, oh, so this is not just like a rapper with and the same.
Right. It's a story.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what it is.
The story, but remember, was that little stupid cartoon, little kid, Mello? What is it, Carlos? The little cartoon, Mello? Huh? Okay. There's a video that I saw on TikTok that their transitions is super freaking fast. Watch one of their little videos. Because it's our attention span. It switches. Boom, 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 boom. That's some of the rappers, some of the videographers are getting it now where you have to switch constantly. But when you do your videos, remember, people are just, unless it's like a devoted, like something really interesting, the freaking transitions are boom,
Yep.
boom, boom,
And that's
boom.
that's what I do, like when I edit.
Yeah.
I
You do all that yourself?
Oh yeah. I'm a video, I edit
Jesus.
and I do all that. So when I edit, that's how I get their attention. Like a lot of, and it's weird because I'm a female where it's just wild because you have like a male rapper is literally putting their brand in your hands.
Yeah.
And I don't even tell them to help me. I say, send me the song and we will as a team, like, plan it out for you. You come here, we tell you what to do. We tell you how to post. We tell you how to do all that.
Yeah.
You just worry about being the talent.
Yeah.
And we just do it for you. But yeah, I edit. I really research. I have a best friend whose name is CJ, and he's so into the breakdown and the cinematography of music videos, and I really studied it. And now I can give you like the same edits that the drill rappers from Chicago have, or it's not. I can keep your attention with the video.
Yeah.
And that's what we're missing. And everyone is so used to, like, again, TikTok. Like, you have, like, 30 seconds, not even 15 seconds, and you get bored.
5 seconds now. Do you know they're doing 5-second clips now?
And that's why, like, they're really training your mind to just get tired. Like, just consume all this content within 5 seconds.
Yeah. I'll be putting some. I got my personal one, and there's nothing me. It's just some random stuff that I post. But I'll be in that 5 to just trying it out, see if one of them just goes crazy. Just because they help push this. But I think it's hilarious how I posted one. It didn't go anywhere because it offended TikTok. They're like, TikTok's gonna be like, just blink and it's over. Like
literally a blink.
And then that was it.
Yep.
The next one. That's crazy. But yeah, the movement of the transition is gonna be crazy. So how do you find time to do everything as far as like with the influencer, with the label? Like, how many of y'all is in the team for that? Because I know you're the CEO of it.
Yeah, so it's me. So I actually do like the shoots, the videos, all of that stuff. I edit and record all that. Then I have my creative director, which is also my music manager, is Alexis. She goes by A1. And then and my little brother is on the graphic design part. I also do graphic designing, but I need help, obviously. So it's my little brother. And then the fourth person I hired is actually in Colombia. He is my cousin, and he is in the same field and does like album artwork. He records music videos, great music videos, and we're all a team, and we just get on WhatsApp and,
That's crazy. Yeah, that's good. And then where do you find time to do your music? Because then it's
exactly
hard.
See now we're getting somewhere.
So I've done the managing part too of the music. Like, so I done the label. So I started with doing a song, and then it transitioned to a rap group at one time, and then we did some stuff, not knowing where the hell we were going and trying to figure it out. To moving from that to being not part of that anymore, to moving into managing two artists, and then having to help them out, and then just having to step away from that. And then I wanted to do something for me, but I never had time because it was always about them. You know what I mean? It really is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard for you to do your own thing without having to stop. That's why I had to stop all that. And then after a while, I had to even stop the radio because I needed a break to focus on what I wanted to do and spend time with my family, because I having holidays and different things. I was doing events that I felt like were going to make a difference. And I like to do different events and things, but it just, time was passing me by and I wasn't spending time with my family at the times that mattered. And I had to slow down, but I didn't have time for the things to do for me. That's why, again, this is my only focus.
This is like your baby.
That's
like this
my only focus. The shirts that I put out, there's not super big, but this is like what my time is consumed. Like, I was on your TikToks at 3 a.m. just looking at stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like figuring out what do you like, what is this, what is that, and what does it mean to do all that. So when do you have time to do music? Do you sleep?
Ask my manager. Like,
Is she scheduled to have a session?
We make time. We operate on crazy hours.
I can imagine.
We
Yeah.
don't. I mean, we make time for what's important. If she tells me it's important, then we find a way to make it happen.
See, but my mentality is because I have a regular job. It's not the same thing. You know what I mean?
right, but she has a regular job.
Yeah.
So it's hard for her to do
Yeah.
Forever Saucy and then manage me, because I'm the type, like, she manages everything. She'll set up when I'm supposed to go make a song with my producer. She'll set up that time frame. Like,
Yeah.
she will set that up for me. So I really don't know how she does it, and that's kind of a balance that she's trying to find herself. But it's the life that I asked for.
I mean,
asked for it.
if you have, you could possibly not be doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if this is what you asked for, then, you know, if you're happy and this would you consider that is gonna get you successful, or that I feel like you're already successful for your story to get in here. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And then whenever you even go back to Colombia and the way the people are living over there is like, man, that's crazy.
It's humbling.
I'm just saying. So I know I told you a couple of times, but literally we just have, because I come from something similar. You know what I mean? I come from a place where maybe, and that was when I was eating meat, maybe once a month I got to eat meat, but every other day was frijoles and huevo and chile, and same
the
thing
best.
or whatever.
I'm sorry.
But again, you get boring after a while, and not a lot of nutrition. But that's all we came from, to walk into places, and then to migrate into here, to being in the military, to get into we accomplish something.
I
as
almost
Latino.
went into the military.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually went all the way up to MEPS and didn't.
Oh my God! You went all the way to. And then what happened?
I freaking got scared. Like, I was going
Scary.
because my best friend at the time was going, and I really sat down and I was like, this is serious. And like, I only had a green card, so I was like, I could get my citizenship. And I realized that I wasn't going for the right, like, yes, I love people, and yes, there was deeper reasons why I genuinely wanted to go into the Navy. I didn't end up doing it, and I don't regret it, because my best friend actually didn't even stay long. Like, she didn't finish her years, I think it's like 4 years, and everything went to like downhill after that whole point.
I was telling somebody that right now, certain things been feeling like a movie. You know what I mean? Like certain things that it's just been going a certain direction. They're just being perfectly going the way that it need to be. You know what I mean? And it's crazy that I want to say that we all create our own destiny and everything, but certain things you'll be like, what the heck? How in the hell is what? Like, no way. This is not. No way that it's just falling into.
Yeah.
And it's believable, because if that's what you ask for, that's what you get, and it makes sense, right? But when it's happening, and when you really realize that it's happening, you be like, what? Like, it's really, you know what I mean? And it helps your belief, right? Because I know that the biggest factor on everything of anybody's ever done is the belief that is going to happen. You know, like firmly believe it. You know, everybody can tell you a million and one things. Like if you can, if strangers would tell me, "Ah, you suck," you're never gonna. That's fine, but it doesn't matter what you think. It matters what I think.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna make it. I'm thinking that this is what I believe in, and it doesn't matter what you say.
This is, by the way, I'm sorry, but this is like from a brand person who
Yeah.
just love. This is amazing what you created here, all of it. Like these little cubs. Shout out to the little
Get
cubs,
a
you know
get
what
a
I'm
shirt.
saying? Yeah, like this is awesome. Like I love the logo. I love the color scheme. I love the way you handle everything.
This
It's
is all
awesome.
him and I, and
Y'all did
It's
amazing.
been before we even launched the podcast. It's been like a 2-year talk. Yeah,
Why did you wait so long?
different things. I said I had to get rid of and move on.
Wow.
Yeah, we even redid the logo.
I love this logo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. It's so unique.
Yeah,
Like that's your, like someone will know that's your brand. When
I
they see it.
appreciate it. I struggle with. I think I struggle with that. I felt I don't need validation from anybody, but it's okay to receive it when it's provided, and I appreciate it because I feel like maybe I didn't hear it as a kid so much. As a Latino, a lot of times we don't get that, but I ain't saying I'm seeking it anymore. But at the same time, I do have to allow it to come in and be like, thank you. Like today, the video that I posted, one of my friends that she posted that she watches it and she was proud. Like,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
got it.
Aw, it tugged at your heartstrings.
It did because it feels really nice because you're not used to from a little kid them telling you that you're proud of them and you know go for more, and then you should support like to the most as Latino parents, Mexicano parents, like go for it. It's okay if you don't make it. At least you gave it a try, and at least minimum you gave it a shot that you at least attempted to. You know.
I relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it happens a lot.
Especially in our culture.
The Sammy, the owner, her parents never did that. Her parents always supported her and always told her she can conquer whatever she wanted to. And she went in to the music industry, working with like before Kid Craddock way back in the days and things like that. Like she was the first Latina here in the DFW to be in mainstream radio on pretty much all the major stations.
That's awesome. Shout out to Sammy.
So,
like
Sammy G. But her parents never told her they never had limitations. They always told her that she was like she can do anything, and I think that made a big impact in her life.
Yes.
And a lot of the times, the struggles that we fight is the same thing that we just didn't do. So if you're a Latino, if you're a Mexicano, support your kids. Let them try it.
Yeah,
Let them try it out.
definitely.
All right. Well, again, I appreciate it. Let us know
Thank
where
you.
you can find you. All the places we can find you.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram, Angie Paola, 2 A's at the beginning, at the end. I'm Angie Paola is my photography page and my branding page, and Forever Saucy with 2 Y's on Instagram. And then you can find all those on Twitter, Facebook even, and then on TikTok it's I'm Angie Paola. And then on Twitter is Real Angie Paola.
Okay, one last question. If somebody was to Google you many years or search you in some search engine many years from now, what do you want them to find out about you? What do you want them to see?
That I did what I loved.
All right, we'll leave it with that. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. I don't think this is over. We're going to have another episode or something else.
Yes,
because
there's
I don't
so
think
much.
it's over. All right, this was the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember, we are just like you. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Until next time.